All right, guys, welcome to the What Meow podcast. What is going
Want me out?
on? What's
Want me
up?
out?
Hey up, what me up? Is that what we called it? I know we were arguing on the name on the prototype version.
I think that's what we're going with. Yeah, we're in too deep now.
Want me out?
Oh, what meow? Okay, I thought you said what me up, and I was sat there like, what the fuck is what me up?
It's like, what's up? What meow? What's
What
now?
meow? What's happening now with meow now, man?
Mm-hmm.
Feel like I'm about to go into a jazz solo here.
Well, we might as well start with your jazz solo.
No,
So
leave me
tell
alone.
everybody who you are.
I am the glorious and ominous Tourettesticals. I've done Twitch with these guys for way too long now. And every now and again I get asked to come along to see how much randomness and bullshittery we get up to.
We always enjoy it.
I do love fucking going around with you guys, so it's fucking hilarious half the time anyway.
Just don't tell everybody.
Oh, I've got to make it something
You know.
special. Something everyone wants to see.
So,
Your reputation may be hurt.
so
So what's been happening?
not a whole lot. I've been running around trying to get vaccinations for the last 2 days.
Oh, what are you vaccinating?
Everything, so much, so many
Measles?
vaccinations. No, I've got those.
His Tourettesticals.
Leave my Tourettesticals out of this.
But no, I
May
need
as well
it.
be an X-Men disease.
I need them for school, and I was supposed to start back in April, and I didn't start till this week. So, I had 2 shots today, one yesterday, a TB skin test today, which we read Saturday.
What fucking school are you going to that you need to have
Nursing
vaccinations for?
nursing school.
Nurse? Yeah.
Oh, okay, that'll do it. Need a vaccination for everything on the history of Earth.
So,
Yeah.
Cat Dad, before you get too far, I guess you should also introduce yourself.
Okay.
Granted, I think some of us know you.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So, CatDadTV, or CatDad, or Tyler, however you want to, whatever you want to call me. I'm a nursing student. I have 2 cats. I have a dog. I'm a variety streamer. Been streaming for about 2 years now. It's been 2. Hawkwind.
I know.
Me and Hawk started 2.5.
2.5.
Me and Hawkwind have been. We started streaming the same day. We actually met in ARC, and he was playing with the idea of streaming, and I had streamed a little bit before, back in maybe 2013, 2014, something like that. But I mean, it was
StarCraft, right?
a little bit of StarCraft, a little bit of Skyrim. I made some YouTube videos and stuff, but they weren't much. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much me in a nutshell at the moment. So
You've
Hawk.
been doing farming sim lately.
We'll get to that in just a second. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll talk about the games we've been playing.
Alright.
So Hawk.
Well, I'm best known as Hawkind1972. Hawkwind works great for me. It's funny because a lot of people think I get my name from the band named Hawkwind. Actually, I get it from playing Ultima 4 on my Commodore 64 when I was a wee child. And I've always loved the name. Always got the kick out of it, and I've stuck with it for years. As CatDad said, a little over 2 years ago, I started streaming. It's been kind of a small passion of mine to get into. It's been a crazy roller coaster ride these 2 years doing it and everything that's gone on within my life. But I'm here. I got a big ass beard and I've actually got all my teeth today. So I'm doing pretty good.
Found them, did you? Hiding under the sofa.
The tooth fairy showed up and took a chunk of change from me this time because, you know, if you put it under the pillow, you get money. If you give it back, it takes a little bit of money. But yeah.
So every time you lose a tooth, so they kind of say, "Oh, we're going to give you £1, but we're giving you £1 with interest."
Right. Yeah. And then they want a couple £100,000 back to get it back, you know. So don't worry.
Well, at least you now have good dentures, so we're not eating soup.
And thank you, Nick, in the background. I appreciate the compliment on the teeth. The face I can't do much about, man. That's why I covered up. So,
why isn't chat showing up in our box? That's annoying. Oh well.
Pardon me, sorry.
that's something we can work on later. I've been playing around with that, so.
Oh, if you occasionally see a cat, Pillows has been really fucking needy these last couple of days. And it's just been really, really wanting attention. It's about the one time I'm sat at my computer and I'm not gaming. You're just so sweet.
Pillows.
So yeah,
So,
that's us.
have you ever seen the movie Clerks 2, Violet?
No, I haven't. I haven't even seen Clerks 1.
Okay. You named your cat your cat's name's Pillows, and they've got a character in Clerks 2 called Pillow Pants. That's what it reminded me of.
I've seen it, but I don't remember any of the names. So,
well, when we got her, she was only a little kitten, and she was silver. And my brother used to be able to mix up cushions and pillows, just the terminology, together. And we had some cushions that were silver, and he called them pillows. So that's where she got her name from.
Okay. Gotcha.
But she has become the most deadly pillow I've ever handled. We trained her on fingers, of which I only have a few left, and toes. And now she kills everything around.
Also reminds me of a video we need to watch real quick.
Oh my.
Look at you showing off now. Look at you showing off. Aren't you proud of yourself?
I don't wanna miss a thing. 'Cause even when I
Watch this. You don't need the volume.
Oh, well.
Watch this. I'll turn the volume off. Watch her right arm. That cat takes a chunk out of her arm. And then just looks at her like, what are you going to do about it?
That cat is hungry.
Yeah,
that's why our cats go outside and hunt at 4 o'clock in the morning and not sat inside. I'd much rather they kill small furry creatures than me.
Yeah, of course, running around in a pink bunny suit. Yeah, they're not going to be attacking you for no reason at all. I mean, yeah, you're right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. My cat's his Pillows always loves a challenge, but she hasn't tried this one yet. I think she did look fairly confused when she saw me the first time in it.
So
what's our latest in news? What's going on nowadays? I guess.
Well, you want to get to that in a second? I think I want to get to that in a second, and
sure,
let's talk about what we've been playing, because we got a lot of time for news, man. There's so much news.
It's July 2020.
And just in the Twitch world as alone. So yeah.
Yeah.
So, Violet, what have you been playing?
Oh God, I've been playing crap. Or to be fair, so we had the Steam sale come up, and I looked at the Steam sale and kind of went, ugh. I've got everything here that's on sale. I either got, played, or not really interested in. So I ended up going and buying a bunch of Lego games. I think I went and got all the I was at Marvel superheroes. I've been kind of playing that a little bit. Other than that, War Thunder's just gone into its third season of World War mode. So I'm completely leaving that alone ever. I'm not touching that again, especially as it's now in modern war and it's just going to be cancer. And Warships came out and said, "Hey, do you want a free ship? Do you want another free ship that isn't very free and you have to pay 40 quid to be able to get the last bit of it?" So I've been kind of working my way towards getting my Graf Spee as a free event thing that's been going on at the minute. But that's about it. I haven't really been doing a whole lot else and feeling fairly bored. Oh, and also getting banned from someone's modded Minecraft server for bullshit reasons.
So what is the
I
style
mined diamonds and he got angry.
what is the style of game that you've come to enjoy the most?
Oh my word.
'Cause I know we're Minecraft lovers in our hearts.
Minecraft
I
was
think
is a very good place to find for Twitch viewers. I'll give you that. But no, I kind of come into that a mixture. Survival, well, that's where the Minecraft element comes in. I've done some Ark here and there. I have to be in the right mood for Ark. But also I like the World War II setting sort of things. So War Thunder and Warships kind of plays in that area. I like simulator, but not too heavy. I think DCS and Star Citizen are really good examples of where you can get really heavy simulation. I just sat there like I shoot things. Let me shoot the things, not try and explain to me something that's going to take me 5 fucking years to understand.
I get that.
Well, and I've seen you playing
Oh, and I've
like,
done all sorts.
yeah, a lot of the like the
Settlers.
Diablo, yeah, Settlers, Diablo style games.
Oh no,
Where
they're RTS style games.
okay, RTS, okay. Yeah, the builder stuff, and you seem to
Actually,
have a lot of
now
fun doing
you've
that.
said that, I forgot about that. The so you know how I was like you say, I've been doing Settlers. They brought out like a bundle about 2 years ago, which was all of the old Settlers games remastered, every single one with the exception of the 8th one, which was brand new at the time, and called it the the History Collection. And I said to myself, you know what? If they really want to blow the water out for me, give me an Anno History Collection. And about a month ago, they released. No, it was 2 weeks ago. They released an Anno collection. So I've been playing the hell out of the Anno 1503, and as soon as the pubs reopen, and I'm feeling more refreshed, I'm streaming Anno. It's happening because I have to do it. It was my childhood game that got me started in gaming.
Nice. I played Anno Online for a while.
It's actually the same area because I think Anno Online was put into place when they released 1503. So back in 2006, I think for that it was Anno 1503 came 2005. Because I know there was like an old Nokia mobile game, like for the brick phones.
The old brick phones, gotta love them.
Yeah, you can piss on it. You can throw it under a mattress. You can break it. You can destroy it, and it will still fucking survive nuclear war. It's worse than a cockroach at Christmas.
CatDad, what have you been jumping into?
You go ahead and start. I'm still working on this chat thing.
Gotcha.
I'm listening.
Well, I fell into a bundle. I was looking at Elite Dangerous because our last buddy even Richie, he was jumping into it for a moment. And I'm like, you know what? That looks like kind of fun. Seen it, Frontier Games, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
But they also had in the bundle the Jurassic Park series. Dad played several months back. And so within the sale, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do this. And jumped into Jurassic Park, having a lot of fun with it. Still want to get back into Green Hell, and try to get to a little bit further into it. But man, that Green Hell, I mean, it's entertaining, but it's hell. And so yeah, I've been doing a lot of Jurassic Park right now. I hope to maybe in a week get back, maybe start some Elite Dangerous and see what that's going to happen.
Elite Dangerous, I've got it. It's fairly interesting and fun. Most of it is based, as far as I know, you're effectively space piratey sort of people that go bounty hunting and all sorts of other things. All based within the first person of a spaceship. Can be fun, can be fairly simulatory as well. So I don't know, if you're playing that, let me know and I'll probably jump in because I need to give it a go properly. I just trying to get used to the controls was always a bit iffy.
Yeah. Well, and that's
my concern
with Green Hell. With Green Hell, I mean, and I jumped in with it with Jersey Girl, another fellow streamer, and I tell you what, man, the first day, I would have hated it starting it solo.
Yeah,
because the commands are just enough different, but still similar. But at least having her there, we're both like, "What the fuck are we doing?" And we had fun just playing off that, and that made the game enjoyable for a bit. Just going, okay, at least I'm not the only fucking idiot right now. I mean, we're neither one of us are going, "Oh no, this is the key hit. Oh no, this is what you." And then we got into about the second or third day, and then some people popped in and are like, "Oh, here's what you do. This will make your life a little bit simpler." Ah, wow, god damn. Okay, fair enough.
I think first time I saw that, the first thoughts that came to my mind were the forest, which is a very, very similar kind of style of game. Have you played the forest?
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
Nope.
Okay, so
No.
imagine. Do you remember the old Lost series from God knows how long ago, with the smoke monsters and all sorts of other things?
Mm-hmm.
It's effectively that. It literally starts you on a plane crash in the middle of an island. No one survives, and there are some very strange natives that come and kidnap your child, and you have to live on and try and survive this island with the natives around that every now and again come and which are cannibal natives. And there's caves and all sorts that you can dive into and find all sorts of other really horrifically strange creatures. It is very, very similar to the forest. The same kind of mechanics, the same kind of stuff. I think Green Hell goes a little bit further with the whole leeches bit, and you've been hit by something. On which arm or limb or part of your body have you been hit?
Yeah, and that took a half second to figure out too. But that was part of the fun. Could have gone into story mode, could have gone into the tutorial, but both Jersey and I were just like, nope, we're just gonna jump right into the whole survival thing and just do our best to figure it out.
We need to get you playing the forest at some point. That's something we got to do.
I still want to play story mode of Green Hell. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So I've been playing Farming Simulator. Me and JW, a friend of the podcast and of the stream, and a friend of mine. We actually know each other. decided we were looking at a game called Farm Together, I think was the name of it. When we were looking at it, we were like, wow, this looks cool. This looks like a lot of fun. You can have a house and cook and raise crops. Kind of like
That sounds fun.
Stardew Valley. But if you watch the video, it looks amazing. So we both get it. And we jump in. And the only mechanic in the game was watering plants.
Oh no.
And you had to do this, like, depending on the plant, it was like 15 seconds. So if you had like this huge, garden, you would have to, go back and forth the plot and endlessly water. Just endlessly, like it was awful.
Was it created by Farmville by any chance?
I have no idea. So we were just kind of both like, well, this sucks. Do you want to get Farming Simulator? And we were both like, oh yeah, we're getting Farming Simulator. So we get Farming Simulator, and if you're not familiar with the game, it's basically farming. You have to have vehicles, you buy land, and you cultivate that land. But the vehicles are extremely hard to drive.
Oh, that's what I didn't like about it. Yeah.
And that made for a lot of great just comedy. Like, it was so good. Like, it was so funny. Like, trying to get a pallet of seed into the back of the truck with a forklift was absolutely hilarious. That, and then we've got a great clip of this actually. We had to take the forklift. JW had to take the forklift back to the farm, and I had to drive the truck back to the farm with the seed in the back, right? Well, I took the wrong turn, and had to turn around, and I wanted to get back pretty quick, and those trucks are really fast, they're really hard to control, and I ended up flipping the truck with the seed intact after it took us about 15 minutes to get that seed into the truck. So I suggest watching that clip. It is two clips, because one is getting the seed into the back of the truck, and the other one is driving the truck and losing all the seed. So that was.
I've seen like that you can get the true farming simulator setups, which is similar to a racing setup. You've got a steering wheel, you've got pedals and gears and all sorts of different things. Proper simulation setup for Farming Simulator.
Mm-hmm.
The one place I've ever actually seen it used was on War Thunder on the tanks, because they've actually got the control scheme for War Thunder. You just see someone turning this big fucking tractor wheel to turn a turret.
We also found that there is an esport scene for Farming Simulator 19, where they pretty much just stack things as fast as they can. It is hilarious. Like, it's so stupid. So yeah, that's really all I've been playing. I picked up. I've been playing a little more PoE. The Path of Exile, and it's been pretty good. And I got into the what is Ubisoft's new battle royale? Hyperscape. I got into that today, so I'm gonna try that out probably tomorrow.
You're better with battle royales than I am. I can't stand them.
Yeah, it's not much my forte as well.
I kind of I'm one of those oddballs, unfortunately, where anything like the CS:GO stuff and the Overwatch thing that happened, it was not my thing.
Mhm.
The League of Legends Dota MOBA stuff was not my thing, and Battle Royale has turned to be not my fucking thing. So I'm kind of waiting for the next thing so I can tell everyone that that's not my thing either.
Let me play it so I can prove I don't like it. Yep.
Hmm.
So, Violet.
Scarlet, who's that?
Violet.
Oh, Violet, sorry.
Have you been paying attention to any of this Dr. Disrespect stuff?
Oh, I keep hearing like bits and bobs of it. I know he got banned from Twitch for some reason, and then I know he got he kind of put a video out not too long ago, which apparently raised more questions than answers stuff. I don't really know anything about it, in all honesty. I think it might be because he was gaming on something that I didn't watch, so it never really popped up. I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was similar to the whole Fortnite situation where someone got banned for trying to show off hacks and mods in Fortnite or something like that, and then complained. These things happen so often that I just generally don't think about it. So
Right.
if you can fill me in, that'd be great.
Okay, so what I really want to do with this is build a timeline. I wish I could get the audio to work over Discord for you to hear the last 7 or 8 minutes of Dr. Disrespect's last stream.
And quite honestly, you don't have to hear the 8 minutes. It's almost the last 2 minutes.
Well, I don't know. He gets a text, and then the entire stream changes, right? Like he checks his phone, then all of a sudden, like his entire demeanor just goes to shit, right? Like,
Sounds
and
like DDoS.
it's okay. So 2 or 3 days before, Twitch updates their it's like a sexual harassment.
Oh, I think I remember hearing about sexual harassment policy.
Yeah, policy. That's a good word.
They've chopped and changed that policy around quite a lot, if I remember rightly.
By suspending streamers. So this is like the newest. Wait, no. No way. Where do I find a good? So yeah, I mean, there's kind of been this Me Too movement going over around the streaming community. Jesus Christ! Just let me find a.
Look at TOS. Terms of service, maybe.
Yeah, that'll probably do it. It'll probably change within the next few days, but it'll probably do it.
I don't think anything will change as far as the term of service, but it's sad that out of the frickin' blue again, everything crops back up. And
yeah, so anyway,
it help that this is the what if again you haven't really told me about what this is,
right?
But from what I'm hearing, it's another one of those. It's a really bad month to be having this shit again.
Yeah.
So so much shit has been going on this last 2 months to add into all of this as well. And then there was something else, I can't remember what it was, but something else cropped up around the same area that was like, if it was any other month, no one would give a fuck. But it has, no, I know what it was. It was a Facebook shit.
Oh, yeah, the Mixer and Facebook.
There was that. There was something else as well. I can't remember. There was all sorts of different things.
So they released this, right? Whatever. I can't find it. Maybe in images. Oh, there he is. So they released that, and 2 days later, Doc has this very strange, almost disturbing last few minutes of stream. A little bit later, I'm not sure, it's probably a few hours. His stream is, Twitch deletes his stream and starts refunding
All of his
people's
stuff, doesn't it?
anybody's subscription for the next month.
Which again, that alone right there is huge as far as, because you can get banned from Twitch, but for them to refund people's money basically within a 24-hour period, something is off.
Yes, he's.
So,
it sounds so very much like Twitch don't want anything to do with it. So whatever he's done is not good.
Right.
Which adds to the next thing that I know CatDad's going to go into.
So
this sounds very much like the Yogscast sexual allegation stuff that happened last year. There was a lot of this kind of stuff, and it was very, very weird for about a month.
So
go ahead, CatDad.
Then all of Dr. Disrespect's, or not, if not, I think all of them, all of Dr. Disrespect's sponsors drop him. I can't spell.
I know Discord dropped him.
Discord dropped their partnership with him, and so let's see. I know Mountain Dew Game Fuel, had dropped him from their sponsorship.
So to answer wackiness for a moment, essentially what he goes into is, what was it, the lizard people on the last 8 minutes of his stream, and David Lee, is that the right name?
I don't remember, but
yeah, but it, like, towards the end of it, he's like, don't worry, I guess his people, his community, he calls them champions, but he makes a statement, within that, don't worry guys, don't worry champions, we'll get through this, and we'll live to see another day. And then fuck, and then his stream ends. So there's some, just again, I don't watch Dr. Disrespect enough to understand the change in his persona, but apparently a lot of people have caught that change in his persona within those last 8 minutes of his last stream.
Well, if he's picked up a phone that's basically texted him something like, we know what you're doing, then that will do it. Or something else has come up, or someone's DDoSed him straight through and kind of said, if you don't say this shit, then we're going to do something to your account. That could also do it.
Well, but see, that's the other side of it, because it's all up to speculation at this moment. So what CatDad's doing is just kind of laying out the things that we know for a fact right now.
Yeah.
Like the sponsors dropping. So go ahead. Keep
going.
going.
So the sponsors drop him, and for about 24 hours. And then, as you can see right here, he's back. And this happened to 2 or 3 different sponsors. Mountain Dew, Game Fuel, not G Fuel. Mountain Dew Game Fuel has brought him back as a partner. He said he lost his Discord partnership, and but these sponsors seem to be, they seem to know more than what we do. And so these allegations and whatever, are a lot of people are making, coming up with theories. So
one was he was going to go over to Brime, a new streaming service, but that was a complete and total fallacy.
If it's sexual allegations, the partnerships won't bring him back. So that's weird that they're bringing him back. So there's definitely something that they know.
But see, that's where this whole weirdness comes in, because
Even in terms of like, even if they think, well, he might not be all right because they'll go through. If it is sexual allegations, it's not going to come out. Most companies won't try and edge their bets with that.
Right.
So that's just in itself really fucking weird.
Yeah. And then
So I guess the guess is more of like, is it possibly someone that's trying to like do some sort of death threat effectively?
Well, but we know it's not DMC,
yeah, it's not
which
DMCA.
was the DMCA, which happened
Yeah,
across
that
the
wouldn't kill
news
everything else.
2 weeks ago. So that's out of the picture. But go ahead, keep going, Cat Dad. Sorry.
So then, like a day after, like people were talking, right? And he makes this statement on Twitter. Champions Club, Twitch has not notified me on the specific reason behind their decision. Firm handshakes to all the support during this difficult time. Dr. Disrespect. So this seems like a very lawyer move. I believe when they say that Twitch has not notified him on the specific reason. That doesn't mean he doesn't know, right?
Yeah. That just means that, you know, he is being accurate in his statement.
Right. And then we can look at some slasher
and
stuff.
Timestamp evidence slot as well if it's ever taken to court.
Right. And let's see here. We need to get into this shit as well, but
yeah.
The
crazy part still is usually something like this on someone of such a high profile. There's usually that one or two whistleblower that gives you some more information, and this is what's even causing a lot more controversy as far as it all goes, because nobody knows right now.
Yeah, so there's a slasher tweet here. Somewhere. There's been so much shit going on that it's hard to. Okay, so Donald Trump gets suspended from Twitch. It's here somewhere. Where is this? Jesus, come on. Okay, so this is kind of where it starts. Okay, so he's done that. Where is this? Jeez. Okay, so this is the last 39 seconds of his stream that they talk about. Okay,
yeah,
so Slasher...
What was that game he was watching? Roblox?
Roblox, and
Roblox.
Most of the time, if Doc's watching Roblox, he's making fun of it. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's the kind of thing that he just, he's not into that. And he was absolutely just quiet for like 3 or 4 minutes of Roblox. So now, Slasher makes this. This was before Dr. Disrespect's last tweet. But it says, look, for several hours now, I've been told from credible sources the reason Dr. Disrespect has been banned. However, due to the importance and sensitivity around the subject, I have refrained from going on it. I don't feel comfortable with it currently.
And this is a common leaker, I guess, right?
He's a journalist. Yeah, like
yeah.
He's a gaming journalist.
To share what he learned.
Right.
So.
Yeah, see, this was June 26th. June 27th, this is the same day that Dr. Disrespect made his last tweet. So, and then I found out today or yesterday, it might have been yesterday, that the site Giphy has deleted all of Dr. Disrespect's GIFs on their site. Like, what is this insanity? Like, what? Like, and okay,
Well, I was watching Drop Frames yesterday, and they talked about it for about 15 minutes, but there was same information that you've said, and that's the thing that still all the information still kind of correlates to there is no idea what the fuck's going on, but they're all saying the same thing. So the conspiracies are out there, but it's wrong. If they did it as a PR thing, wrong time to do it.
Yeah.
Wrong scenario. If he's going over another streaming service, where's that at now? Was it a sexual harassment thing? Well,
I mean, that's the most plausible. Right.
Nobody's coming out and saying anything one way or the other. Was it? Did he kill somebody?
I like how we kind of avoided the elephant in the room that I've just thought of, that is more likely what it is, because I was just thinking, if it was any of these other accusations, no company would take him back.
Right.
The only thing I can possibly think of is more to do with the situation we've got at the minute for the last month. The whole Black Lives Matter thing and all that other political crap that's been going on.
And
if he's made some kind of open opinion-based statement of some kind and someone doesn't like it, then that makes sense that he's going to get a lot of backlash from places like Twitch and all sorts of other places. Anyway, because everyone is at the minute, but that also makes sense why other companies would take him back, because they'll look at it and go, oh, it's just this fucking shit that's going on, no one fucking cares, we don't care, we're keeping you with us.
It's something that's gotten every fucking lawyer, I think, involved.
Yeah, it definitely has something. I mean, this much silence. Well, lawyers are involved, right? Like,
I mean, like you said, you got refunded from a sub from him, and the last thing I caught was $70,000 being refunded.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, maybe that's not a big chunk of change for a Twitch to refund, but I'm sorry, $70,000 being refunded.
Yeah,
that means you're done.
Yeah.
I mean, Twitch is not going to turn around and go, "Oh, it's okay. Here, slap on the hand.
right.
We'll let you back." No, I mean,
and
but watching some of the guys on Drop Frames and just the weird concern, because again, nobody knows.
The money bit is a bit weird
because nobody knows. So they're like, you got to give us something, because if he did something wrong, how's that going to impact us? I mean, are we doing the same thing right now and not aware of it?
Unless they are waiting till the Black Lives Matter shit is all over before announcing it, because otherwise people might think it to do with that kind of territory and go,
well,
see,
oh,
Twitch,
it's not really that
Twitch
big.
does not have to tell you.
No, they don't.
I get it. So that's the other side of it that's really, you would think still.
Well, if it's sexual allegations and sexual assault, they do have to tell you, because they have to kind of put a notice out there stating, if anyone else was harmed in this, please come forward.
So here's the other side of it, though. As the internet goes into their controversy mode, they cannot find any arrest records or any claims, because even like we talked about last last time with Evil Rich. I mean, there's sites that you can go to look at things, but there's nothing out there in a criminal side of things.
Yeah, arrests are public record, right? Like,
Yeah,
we would be able to see that. And then I kind of want to shoot you guys this other tweet by Slasher. He says, "This is a good comment. Why hasn't he? Well, why else hasn't he gone public? Either he can't verify, and he's talking about Slasher. Either he can't verify his source, or information borders on defamation. And depending on Doc's public figure status, defamation per se, which means claims of an actual crime, and puts Slasher at risk for a lawsuit without hard evidence. The only other option is he can't protect his source by leaking the information." And then the last part is just kind of doesn't really have to do with the case.
Yeah, there's just a lot of, and I've really tried to follow up on this, and try to listen to not just all the nonsense, but listen to credible people, which is tough to find anymore within the internet, because if you do type in Dr. Disrespect, oh my fucking, you get so much craziness.
Yeah, he's well known.
But all the talk is nobody knows. You know, I would like to think Forbes magazine is at least a credible source, but yeah, and just Googling it. Yeah, I don't go to fucking YouTube. I Googled it. And yeah.
Jesus. Sorry about that, guys. So.
Sorry for what?
You didn't hear it. It got really. That video is really loud.
Okay.
But he's still on YouTube. And you would think that a platform like Twitch and a platform like YouTube, even though they may be considered as, you know, rivals in a way, that they probably talk. Right? And in a situation like this, I feel like they would if it was, you know, really something that could damage their brand.
Their own team that would do investigations, so
they might
probably.
Well, this is the thing. Like when
so far it's pretty obvious to me.
When the Yogscast had their allegation thing that happened a year ago, for a start, no one heard about it for about a month. There was an entire team that looked into it. I don't know whether we're directly linked to YouTube or not, but it was after that month of looking into it, about two or three people came out as having abused their position effectively. But this was all done later over YouTube when people could actually talk about it after the allegations had been thoroughly looked through after the investigation. So it's very likely that there's just an ongoing investigation that's happening, and for his own sake, he can't really talk about it until it comes into play, because it could again put him at an incrimination sort of point of view.
Yeah.
Because if it comes out false and he's kind of said something, it probably won't be false anymore. That being said, if he does say anything, it could also put himself liable at other points. So he's just kind of got to keep quiet and let the investigation go through. He's also probably been told by lawyers to just keep quiet during it and it'll go through quicker.
Right. So wackiness? What do you... I mean, if it's obvious, please. Because this has been far from obvious for me.
If Twitch is giving back, I know that Shin was one of the people that was done for the Yogscast thing. Terps and Matt were also done. I don't believe their subscribers were refunded though. So that just strikes to me like something like a A serious crime where no one wants to be involved. Pedophilia is a really good one to go with that one. So I don't know. Speculation is speculation, but that in itself is really fucking scary.
Yeah. But I mean, with I don't know, and investigation probably is ongoing, right? But I mean, don't they? When do you make an arrest? You know.
Right.
I mean,
well, and to add to the conspiracies, Mixer shutting down and everything going over to Facebook, and that's also been part of it. We're like, oh my god, is that part of it? Probably not. Probably has nothing at all to do with any of that shit.
Right.
But we still know nothing. And that's, I mean, even the people that spend their life trying to figure this stuff out has no clue. Thanks, G. Fucker.
I'm going
Yeah.
to. I'll be back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom for a bit. I'll be back in a few minutes. You guys can keep up with this.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's so. It's just really awkward that we just have no clue. Nobody's catching it. Nobody. And the people that do know have been shut down. Somebody shut them. I mean, so what would it take? I mean, even if we just speculate. I mean, I'm thinking he had to kill somebody and he recorded it. I mean, right? I mean, but and it
then again,
if
if
it
it's
is
a clean cut case, then it must be. It's just really weird. It's either like, again, I can't really comment on it now, thinking because of that one big problem is the resubbing, returning money.
right.
Twitch doesn't do that. Just that's not something that a big company like Twitch would do.
Unless
So
they're, I mean, obviously they're done with him. They're done.
they're obviously no.
So
That's not even that. If you're done with them, you ban them. If you're giving people money back, you're making yourself look like the good guy out of the entire situation. In other words, if he's done something, it's got to be serious for Twitch to do something quite like that.
but what's serious though? And that's the thing.
Well, there's two things that's serious: terrorism
mean,
and paedophilia. Those are
right.
two areas where no company wants anything to do with you anymore. Ever.
And that's, so is that what it is? Or
Well,
again,
I don't know.
just
No one knows. So again, it could all be slander. It could all be speculation. So until we know anything, until we're giving any information, all we can do is create theories, no matter how absurd they may seem, or horrible they may seem. But for something like Twitch to, I think even when people have done murders on a stream or something, or where they've been told, like even with the Logan shit when he went and filmed the suicide area, he got his
yeah.
shit kicked in by YouTube, but they didn't research, they didn't fucking like say, oh, for any people that have paid him money via YouTube, have your money back.
Because Dr. Disrespect did have that ban where he did record in a restroom, I guess at E3 or and he did get a ban because I don't think anything was shown, anything. But anyway, he was banned, so he's
Logan
got.
was banned, but he didn't get any money taken off him.
But a Dr. Disrespect does have some strikes against him So did Twitch actually kind of go, all right, so now here's your third strike on something that we're not even aware of, and it may not even be as serious as we all think, but Twitch is like, sorry, we're done.
Unless it's a new policy, which is if a large enough member gets banned, we'll refund the money of that individual. But that just sounds really fucking weird. I've never seen a company actually do something like that that's as large as Twitch.
And see, and again, I heard the information, but at the same time, I know CatDad, he got refunded his subscription from Dr. Disrespect. So, like, even he and I talked about a few days ago. He's like, so that's enough fact for me. I got my money back for my subscription for him. So that means Twitch is not going to come back with him. As far as I see it, if we're returning money because of this high dollar, high profiled Twitch creator, then we're done. I mean, there's no, oh, okay, so you made a small mistake. Let's
Also, for Discord to de-partnership with him would have to go through TOS.
well, and what was it? Somebody was also saying, I think there's also an exclusivity thing with Twitch and Discord. So if you lose your partnership in Twitch and you have a partnership with Discord, it's kind of
so
a
it's like the War Thunder partnership.
it's-
That's
it's
like
kind
a
of
Twitch
a-
partnership kind of thing.
it's kind of a combined deal. But
I don't know what you
Unless-
guys have been talking about since I've been gone, but like,
We've been kind of trying to discuss the seriousness of the situation and work out, is it as serious as it seems, or the other option is it's just a big ploy that's basically just a way of saying, look, Dr. Disrespect, you're not coming back. Here's a way that we're proving that you're not coming back this time. We're actually giving away the money you've earned back to their people. It could just be something simple as that. But unless, I mean, how many subscribers a month is Dr. Disrespect getting in?
$70,000 worth.
yeah. So that's
That's the
Quite
information I've
significant.
heard. I mean, what would you do with $70,000, Violet?
we got a calculator.
Yeah.
Buy a better Bunzie.
Yeah. Do your laundry so you don't have to wear a onesie.
No,
But-
I'll get someone to do it for me. I'll pay them at double rates.
But I mean, I think Hawkwind brought up a great point, right? Like, usually sexual allegations against a person, like, it's not like it's just one person that, like, especially somebody this big, right? Usually it's multiple people coming out. Once it happens, it's like, okay, boom, boom, boom. There's 2 or 3, right, or more. And then it's almost always, it's not. But somebody this big, there's a public announcement, right? Like, there's nothing against that. Nothing stopping that.
Somebody's reporting some gal that says, yes, I was treated incorrectly. Because there's somebody out there that's going to know something that's got to leak to somebody that's going to say something.
Right. I mean, that doesn't discredit it in any way, but that's usually how it happens with somebody that's
Even if it's a
in the
fake
spotlight.
accusation at this point. Somebody was coming out with a fake accusation of something, whether it is a sexual assault, whether it's a physical assault, whether it's
a fake accusation also could be the reason why Dr. Disrespect has not said anything about it.
I mean, I think he's just whatever it is. I think the lawyers are just telling him to shut up. Just don't say anything. Like,
Yeah.
And so, I guess, okay, so at this point, discussing it really doesn't change anything. So now in 6 months, or 12 months or 5 years are we ever going to know? That's the
You'll
thing.
know within a month. Usually,
Is-
any sort of things like these, they'll be done within a month, unless it gets to a point where it's like, actually, there's like more in the sense of like, there's a whole ring to this that's going on that
Well, if
is
somebody else
happening.
goes
But
down.
usually, you'll hear within a month of what's going on.
Yeah, if
And if
somebody
it's
else
someone as
goes
big as
down,
Doctor
then
Disrespect, then it's either gonna be a month or a week, something like that. It will probably come out quite quickly, especially with how the internet has been going about this, because it is.
well, I still talk about the 15 minutes, and I almost messaged you, Cat Dad, to watch, the drop frames, because Dan's Gaming, they were talking about the Last of Us. They all played it, but then JP, Dan's Gaming, and Ammunition were on there. Ezekiel was not there, but they were all like, you could tell that there was a slight nervousness, because like, give us something.
Yeah.
Twitch, give us something. What term of service was broken? You don't have to give specifics, but what term of service was broken? Because again, there was a nervousness, almost like,
This could happen to me.
yeah, and
Yeah.
because it did seem out of the blue. It seemed, again, speculation, 100%.
Like just a reassurance to the other streamers that are doing their own thing would have been nice from Twitch to kind of come out and go, look, the shit that's going on, it's you guys don't need to worry about it. You keep doing whatever you're doing. This isn't gonna kind of happen to you in quite this way, but we can't talk about it right now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if they came out of that, it would have at least, or something under those lines would have been just a reassurance to the rest of the community of, oh, at least we're safe. At least it's not a new policy we haven't read into yet.
Or we need to step up on this policy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's for those of us that stream, and we need to pay attention. We need to see what happens here, because I don't care how small, how big, how medium, whatever. If this is something we're wanting to do from this point forward, and a Dr. Disrespect can be gone like that.
Yeah.
If that doesn't make you nervous,
Right. No, I agree.
then I don't.
Yes, if that's one way. That's the one thing I've always felt. I think why for a long time I didn't play any copyrighted music on Twitch, because my biggest fear was I'm just a puny little Twitch streamer. I've not got much. I haven't got anything at all. It doesn't take much for Twitch just to take me off immediately for nothing and not tell me anything about it and then just ban me from everything. But for something like Disrespect, who's massively well known within the Twitch community, within the partnership situation, he's bringing
sure he's
loads
helping
in
pay
for Twitch.
some bills because of his popularity.
Yeah. So even if Twitch has come out of nowhere and could have just kind of gone, well, you kind of fucked up on one of these things. Just don't do it again, okay? We'll let you off this because you're getting us so much money. Just don't do it again. But no, gone. So that is, terrifying.
And he had just signed like a multi-million exclusivity deal, right? Like something.
And maybe that was it. Maybe he broke his exclusivity deal. Maybe he broke a partnership. maybe he pissed somebody off, like CatDadTV said the other day. We weren't sure about if Twitch had a CEO or anybody in charge. Maybe Dr. Disrespect pissed off the wrong person, and it's so simple, but it was enough grounds to just get rid of him. I mean, I don't know how a Dr. Disrespect was in a professional side, outside of Twitch. But was it? I mean, we don't know. Everybody's trying to throw things out there, and I'm still curious on. We asked Wackiness if Wackiness is still. It seems obvious to me is what he says. So yeah, and I think you said it as well, Ken. What's obvious? Because give us a hint. Tell us what you think. I want to hear
know something that can't talk by any chance.
Or maybe they see it in a different way that we don't.
Yeah.
So I'm open. I mean, I
think
really...
everyone is at this point. Like we have nothing to go on. It may as well be sandbox Minecraft at this point. We just have to kind of create whatever we can create and go along with whatever's there and just make shit up at this point. Because there is nothing that we do know that's solid.
Right. And that's what the internet's been doing, right? Like, it's
the only thing we know that's solid is Twitch has made a decision of some kind that we don't know whether that's true, that whether it's a drunk decision, a right decision, or a wrong decision, other than that they're resubbing subs.
Well, because again, there was one of those conspiracies out there, and Brime is a small
it's like Spotify or something.
Yeah. Well, but there was a small couple guys trying to build a streaming service, which, again, the mixer and coming apart, Facebook trying to do its thing, YouTube trying to step up its game. And then there was a conspiracy that somehow Dr. Disrespect got involved with it, but even the internet shot all of it down. I mean, it just like everything that it started to kind of grow, but then nope, it got shot down. That's all. It's all unknown facts, and it's inaccurate. And what's up, Chris Metal? So even when the internet and the drones that are out there go, oh no, we don't even believe that.
Yeah.
So then it's not worth believing in. I mean, and that's what's even more mysterious, I guess, about it all.
I mean, yeah, you guys are like exactly right. Like,
yeah,
it's a mystery.
Assassination came out not too long ago of the 6 months ago of the assassination in Iran, and Trump was very open with it. So for this to happen and no one be open about it, I'm sure it can be more serious.
Well, and that's a whole different conversation.
It just feels very much like a situation where if they have made a decision on this that they're certain with and they don't want to talk about it, it feels very sketchy of what's going on.
Yeah, CatDad, while you're looking there, can you find the one from Twitch?
Which one? Yeah, sure. We'll move on.
With what Twitch responded with, because it was so freaking vague and
unless they just don't have any like proof of anything at this stage, but them kind of they've been told by their lawyers that he's done whatever this thing is, so you may as well make things known for now.
We've got to have something for them to refund money.
Yeah.
For Twitch to be that confident to go, all right, here we're doing this, but they've got to have something. I mean, there's something that is so freaking serious.
What were you looking for?
Okay. So the Twitch response to Doctor.
I'm not seeing anything.
So
Twitch still refuses to say anything.
That
There
might
was-
be under that.
oh god, there was a Forbes. Oh, looky there, we got somebody, huh?
Thank you, JT,
JT.
for the 15 months.
There was something through Forbes that showed it. I wish I could.
How's this? As is our
Was it
process, we take
Gadget
appropriate action when we have evidence that a streamer has acted in violation of our community guidelines or terms of service.
Yeah,
These
that's
apply to
right.
all streamers, regardless of status or prominence in the community.
Yeah, and I think that was the basic. I mean, how vague is that?
Yeah.
I mean, how?
Yeah, that doesn't explain to us. So yeah, that makes it very scary. Of what has he done, and is it something we can do?
Yeah.
In the sense of, is it something new and immediate that we've been doing all the time, and now we can't do it because we're now going to lose lots of fucking money over it from Twitch.
Right.
So Twitch really needs to address this.
I
agree.
And not just for the three of us sitting here right now, but for how many millions of streamers are on this platform, trying to step up, do the right thing, do the fun thing, and
even some of the big ones that are like they're utilizing this money to pay for their rent, their house, their life.
well,
And,
okay.
you know,
Here's another crazy piece from my brain. All right, so granted, a Dr. Disrespect probably is not hurting for money. I would like to think that, you know, with the multi-million-dollars that he's probably pulling in, even if we, you know, Cat Dad and I were trying to figure out subs and how many subs somebody gets on top of donations and bits, and then you think about the sponsorships and all this. I would like to think that Dr. Disrespect could probably quit Twitch and still live out his life
yeah,
pretty
retired,
well,
in Hawaii
you know.
somewhere.
But now you go the other direction. So where is Twitch at when they go, okay, we're not thinking about the livelihood of this person anymore, or how much money this person's bringing in towards us, but for us to just go, all right, we're done. I mean, what society are we living in now? Because, okay, so I would like to think if one of us three violated a term of service, I would like to think we got a notification. Somebody goes, hey, you broke a rule, okay? We're not going to quit your stream. We're not going to ban you because it's a first-time action. But if you do it again, we will have to take harsher scenarios. Now, I'm not also against someone like as big as a Dr. Disrespect going, okay, so we get 3 strikes. He had his 3, but you know what?
Did they
Could he get a
say
fourth?
it was in their policy that they
But could he get a fourth? Could he get a fourth option? Or did that happen where we don't know that he violated more things and they finally go, okay, we've given you
Right.
opportunities and chances.
Mhm.
You've been bringing us, because money makes the world go round. I mean, I don't know. That's the thing. Did he get a fourth or fifth chance to correct something, and he just ignored it?
We don't know.
It-
I mean, he got, a 2-week ban sometime last year, but and then, that's pretty harsh, right? For somebody that big, when you depend on your stream to make, to keep your money coming in. But if there was something like that, I think it would have came out already. Like if it was something he did on stream, I feel like people would be, people are scouring his VODs, right?
I know. Oh yes. Well, see, that's something else. Like, so what you just said. So what he did on stream. So was it something he did off stream? Did he do something outside of the cameras? But you would still think that would come out. I mean, he went through the whole. He cheated with the wife, right? And that became visible. And I guess he was even very open about it. Took some time off, corrected what he did, or however, I mean, just
If it was something on stream, then Twitch would have come out and just they would have had evidence there for them to use. So it seems more likely if they're doing something like this and they're not talking about it, and it does go against Twitch's terms of service or guidelines, then it's something outside of that's been appointed to them as their employee, for example,
Right.
by the local police or local something or other that's kind of said, this person has done this. We kind of need you to know this as you're doing this with them.
So, has any of us really looked through the terms of service?
I'm looking through it now because I'm trying to find out which one. Because have you read like the Discord terms of service and guidelines? I used to have to read it anyway when I was doing moderation stuff. But there used to be like bits in there that would say, if you do this, then you might get, you might get a slight ban, or it'll be a temporary thing, or something like this, or you can appeal. Or that might say for another one, by the way, if you do this, you're not only getting banned, we're announcing this to the your local police or FBI, and you are going to be dealt with by them. So I'm wondering whether Twitch has got a similar thing where it will say, if you do this, this will happen to your account. If you do this, we then take action on subscription basis and stuff.
Yeah, because CatDad,
Because if there's nothing
you
on
read
here
through
like
the terms
that,
of
then
service?
it's very strange.
I go through the terms of service whenever I hear somebody else got a strike, or I think I've glanced over it a few times. Mostly I look at it whenever I'm like, when's my money coming in? Like,
show me that $101.
yeah.
I want to
That
get
was
that.
the one that I fucking saw the other day for Twitch. I didn't know about, which was when someone else was reading through it, and they said, "Oh, I've just become an affiliate. It says here that if you don't earn up to $100 in the space of a year, we're going to terminate your affiliate status." And I sat there like, "Oh shit! I didn't read that, and I read all through it." So.
Yeah, and I read that part too. Yep. And
Yeah, I wish I'd read that part. That's why I'm now coming back as soon as the pub's open.
But see, that's $100 in a year.
Well, I've got to do it in 6 months because I started in March.
Yeah, you'll be fine. I mean, honestly, it's not that hard to reach it. But again, what CatDad is kind of going, man, I've hit that mark a time or two. I still don't feel like I'm getting the money because you don't see it for another 45 days.
Yeah.
And so, and it's always supposed to be on the 15th, but I've seen it show up on the 16th. I've seen it show up on the 13th. As far as how their payout goes, and the if you think about it, your paycheck.
Now, here's an indefinitely suspended one. Threats of violence, attempts of threats to physically harm or kill others, attempts of threats to hack, DDoS or SWAT others, and use of weapons to physically threaten, intimidate, harm or kill others. These are if they're taken seriously, as opposed to pointing the gun, going up, saying we're going to kill these motherfuckers in the in the game today, and we're going to make sure they pay. Most people would usually be okay with that. If it was more directed at certain individuals, then it might not be. So that's one area that he could have done. But again, this is all based on Twitch. If he's done this on Twitch, they would have come out and said he has violated this thing on here. We have this evidence to show he has, because they record everything anyway. So we have asserted from the situation that he is getting this certain band, he is not coming back, and you will get your money back because he's not coming back.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean...
Hey, Chris Metal, I think we're all doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for asking.
So does anybody else have anything to say about that? This chat, I mean...
I think at this point, it's time to find something different to.
Okay, so
there's not much more we can really go on with it until we have more information. And that's the really problem with it.
And I think I would like to go over just kind of talk about this for a little bit, and just the
Cat Dad.
Are
you able to move that screen up? Because the part of it goes into Tourettesticals' name.
Well, I mean, I could do that, but
okay, but it's something
we'll work on.
Yeah.
So, the death of Reckful was found today, I guess, by suicide. He was known to be bipolar. He was a WoW streamer for a long time, and then moved to Hearthstone after WoW banned him for sharing his account. But he had been on Healthy Gamer, and a lot of people thought he was doing better, and this comes out, and you just have to kind of reflect on Luna, damn it. Kind of reflect on, what we need to... Twitch as a community even needs to look at, the mental health of, everybody in this community, right? To make sure that something like this doesn't happen again, right?
Well, I think if you're... Well... it's a difficult topic for a start. But the problem that we're seeing here, I don't quite see where Twitch could really help as a community in some respect. And I mean this in a sense because if a lot of people, if they're trying to link the fact of him being banned from World of Warcraft and him committing suicide, that just kind of sounds unhealthy in its own right.
Yeah, I don't think that
if you acquire a game to feel mentally well.
No, I don't think that was the and that's not what I was getting at.
Okay.
That's just he switched over to Hearthstone. This was, I don't know how long he was a Hearthstone streamer. I never watched him, but I know a lot of people that were really... He was a big streamer, right? He was well known, and it's just sad, man. You hate to see.
I will say that this community within Twitch overall, there is a ton of wonderful things, and neat and wonderful people. but unfortunately, there are still the trolls and the idiots. And unfortunately, if you're in a challenging mental state, sometimes one person does just kind of
Yeah.
ruin,
Mm-hmm.
and it lights fire to more of what goes on. And I don't know how. I don't know how to tell anybody how to defend yourself or protect yourself or let it be water on a duck and just flow off of you. But I get it. I sometimes it takes just a couple idiots that just flare up inner emotions that you just go it maybe it's just better I just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe suicide's not the proper answer by any means, but if you're not thinking very strongly, then it it does push you in different directions.
Yeah.
Um,
And it, like he's, you know, bipolar depression is, you know, that's something I deal with as well. You know, I've had these thoughts, you know, like these are not, and you know, they're not exactly uncommon, right? Like, and to, I don't know what pushed him over the edge. What, I think he made some um, disturbing tweets before it happened, but it was something along the lines of, you know, disappearing, like Hawkind said. Man, I just want to offer my condolences to, you know, everybody that knew him and his family.
Yeah.
And I think we should do that on the podcast. You know, like that's, you know, he was a big part of Twitch, and that's, you know, that's just something I think we should do.
For all
and
those that are dealing with his loss to this world, for family and friends that knew him and such, there are people out there who can support you as well. So that's also a really important thing. If you're having trouble with this, please talk to someone.
Yeah.
If you're the thing, as Hawk said, Twitch is a bright and wonderful place with lots of wonderful people. I think it's probably one of the warmest communities I've actually been around in. There's always going to be dickheads wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's always been, with anything in life, there's always been a feeling of, you know, the dickheads, the horror and the shit that they give you is always going to be louder than the praise and love that others often give you.
Yeah.
And it can just take one or two to completely ruin someone's life, or to convince them that the end is nigh. And it's a very it doesn't help with others that have bipolar depression, other forms of mental health disabilities, even schizophrenia and DID and such. It can be a very difficult thing to cope with, and with other stuff in the background, it often does make you feel maybe I shouldn't, as you say, shouldn't be here anymore. But the the truth is I don't know. I can't give a loving approach to this, so I can only give you my opinion of it, which is just remember that there are always people out there that do care, that do love, and do give a shit about you.
Yeah.
There's always going to be horrible people wherever you go, but there'll always be 500 more wonderful people that will help you stand up.
and you know what? 100% correct. 150% correct. It still becomes a challenge of hearing those people. And because just making my own challenges, I guess, or going through my own challenges. However, I no matter how many people said the right things, it was still my own inner voice that was telling me, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
But it landed on deaf ears from where I'm at points. So, that inner strength is what became my challenge. And honestly, it's probably been more helpful for me is there was still somebody that showed up every day. Even when I couldn't show up in my sense. At one point somebody showed up and goes, okay, it's not today. You don't need to disappear today.
Yeah.
Because whether you want to believe it or not, you show some light in my life. And that, again, being the strong individual I've been most of my life, I got scared a lot of times. And I wondered if I was going to let myself wake up the next day.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
it's not like I was going to do anything to myself, but it's like, so if I pass away while I'm sleeping, what will change?
Mm-hmm.
But it's really odd because it's like at the same time there's a side of my brain that goes, well, you gotta, if that's gonna happen, you gotta show up. See, if you don't, if you do disappear,
somebody has to find you. Yeah.
somebody's still gonna be there wondering if you're gone. And I've kind of done that in a sense at points. I've disappeared. And it's only taken one or two voices that kept me from not disappearing. Which I never thought I would deal with. I mean, I've always been just arrogant enough, honoring enough. I'm like, psh, I'll do it. I'll survive. I'm a survivor. That's all I am, And I guess I am because I'm still here today. I would not want whatever legacy I have be a suicide. If I pass away tomorrow because whatever it may be, then time is done with me, and I've accomplished what I could do, I guess. I don't think I'm done.
No.
And it,
go ahead.
well, and that scares me too, because there's a lot of ways where, yeah, I'm done with putting forth the effort.
I'm not too scared of death anymore. I used to be.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not really scared of death, but
I'm kind of looking forward to it. Not in a suicide way, but just more in a sense of if it happens tomorrow, and the end is there, I'm looking forward to the new beginning. Because that's all my brain can comprehend with it. I always think of Gandalf in that sense of like death is just another path.
right.
It does very much in my head just feel like it doesn't make sense to just go black because that feels a bit boring. So there must be something else.
But
Well, at least that's at least my head.
there's still the existence of the here and now.
Oh God, yeah. I'm not planning on going anywhere. I hope not, at least. I think being ill as well, physically, I had to explain to my boyfriend today that so I finally felt the courage to be able to tell him, because I knew that he'd still be there for me even if I did. That if the hormone treatment doesn't work in the next when we start it, I might not be here in 7 years' time. So I think that's more why I'm not too scared of it anymore. I'm just kind of preparing. But I wanted to quickly say a little thing. Like you were saying that it reminded me of when I was having trouble with depression, and it's something that only most people with depression really get, and that's if you. It's not the love and praise that people give you that is important to you. What's important to you is once you've beaten them down and you've completely lost hope and wanted to just be away and gone, that they're still there whilst you're crying in the back of your mind. That's something really important. And there's a lyric. I just wanted to. I'm not going to sing it, but I'm just going to read it, which explains that really well. It was by Pink Floyd. They did a Wall album, which really is explanatory of that. And right at the end of it, it goes into a very subtle sort of tune, and it's called Outside the Wall, and it just kind of says something like this: all alone or in twos, the ones who really love you walk up and down outside the wall, some hand in hand and some gathered in bands. The bleeding hearts and the artists make their stand, and when they're given you their all, some stagger and fall. After all, it's not easy, banging your heart against some mad bugger's wall.
Yeah. I've had times, with depression where, like, a lot of the times, it keeps me bedridden, and that's it's kind of when your thoughts get the worst, right? And it's hard, it's hard. You kind of look at your thoughts and you try to explain what's going on in your head, right? Like, why am I thinking this? And with this last time, it was hard for me to decipher, what was a chemical imbalance and what was logical, right? Like, I couldn't tell if me ending my life was something that should happen or not, right? Like, and of course, you train yourself to know that, okay, these are bad thoughts. They're just thoughts. You don't have to follow up on this. But my suggestion to anybody with depression is first talk to somebody. If you're thinking about committing suicide, first talk to somebody. If you feel like you are on the precipice of committing suicide, call 911. Get an ambulance. Even if you have to pay for it. I understand that ambulances are very expensive in the U.S., but it's worth it, man. Just, if your mind has gone there, call 911 and wait for them, and see if you come out the other side.
I don't know whether you guys have this over there. We have the Samaritans over here, which is just for that kind of thing of if you are on the edge where you are going to do it, they're someone that you can call completely free to call up there 24/7 and are ready to they're the sort of people that are there ready to talk you down from a house or something. Yeah. It's often it's nice to be able to talk to people like that because they're not doctors. They're not telling you you can't do this. They're more kind of edging you in hopefully the right direction. But
Well,
when I've spoken to them, they also feel like kind of a friend that you don't really have.
and Chris Metal has got some great things out there. And JT even has, don't call him 911. Call there's a suicide line, and um, there are people out there that will genuinely help you. If anybody's like me, I don't want to talk to a stranger. I think Chris Metal and I've gotten enough of a friendship over our time that we can, talk to each other in a sense. And I think there's been a time through me and Cat Dad, honestly, have been there for a Chris Metal. I think there was a conversation out there one time that we helped her just be her. That's empowering, but at the same time, when we struggle in our own minds at times, it's hard to feel like we can step up and help, but that's completely wrong. And I've come to understand that, because even when we're hurting, and we're talking to somebody that's also hurting, we can share that moment for a bit and get through it. And this is something on the side of me streaming that I really want to get back into, in the sense is being here. Just as that person. I can't fix anything. I can't. I mean, but I can be there. Cat Dad's been there for me in a long way. I've shared a lot with this son of a bitch, but I've gone through a lot of crazy shit. I've come out well, but it's still. I never thought. I mean, I remember half the conversations of, "I'll be fine. I'll be fine," and I wasn't. But having someone there that's still just there, talking to you,
Yeah.
and showing up as a friend, that's very, very helpful. No matter how ignorant and stubborn you are, know that there's still someone there. And I want to become that person for people. Showing up on stream, whatever antics that may go on, no matter how ornery I may get. But yeah. Let's see, some people know the number because of the famous song. Yeah.
But was this the Hedgehog song? Oh no, that was for Look Left, Look Right.
All right, guys, do you want to take a quick break?
I can. I mean,
Okay.
wipe my eyes for a moment. So.
All right, thanks, JT. Yeah, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll go for about another hour.
Sounds great.
So, no, how long you want to take? 5 minutes?
No,
Okay.
no, you probably do a minute. Run that 60-minute ad. No, I'm in the 60-second ad. You know. Hey, and I we'll talk about that too. But run that 60-second ad.
All right, guys.
I'll
Be right back.
as well.
Before, man.
I mean,
all right, guys, we're back.
So, okay. So we're back. It's live.
We're live.
Well, maybe a schizophrenic, but at least we have each other.
So,
no, I was just asking Violet. So he's living in a house. But is it like 4 feet apart from the next house?
See,
he's like,
that wall? There's that wall there. That connects to the hallway. The hallway on the other side of that is someone's house. And then that wall there, so not the back wall, but the wall to that side, is someone's house.
So literally you could break through the wall and you're in somebody else's house.
That was used to be what boarding school was like.
Right.
Every room was basically connected to each other. It was a big old Georgian house. Like we used to have like cupboards.
What are you sneezing, cat dad? Or you snow? What are you?
I'm looking for something.
Oh. Somebody sounds like they're sniffing something.
It's me.
What are you sniffing? I mean, damn. Don't be sharing that shit. The bunny outfit's gone.
I see that. I'll be right back. I've got to. Sorry I didn't do this during the break.
Yeah. Shows how professional we are these days. It's all within a practice, folks. We're all...
It's got to have your local hanky with you. Or just a t-shirt will do.
So do you still carry a hanky? My dad was always... had a fucking handkerchief.
I used to have 3. When I was in boarding school, I always had 3 on me.
So where do you hide your handkerchief now?
In the clothes cupboard with all of my men's clothes that I will never wear ever again.
Okay.
They are just new hankies waiting to be created.
And I mean this genuinely. I think you look much better in that than you did the bunny outfit.
I like the bunny outfit here and there. It's nice to do as a fun thing.
But see, you've got...
It's just a bit too hot.
You've got the one thing... Okay, so I have the beard. But you've got the long hair. I wish I could have...
The long hair has not long come out of a shower, and I didn't comb when I had the shower, so it looks manky as hell.
I could never grow my hair where it looked like what you've got. It just came out so stringy, and I tried it for many years.
You'll never believe it, but this hair never used to be curly. Something in the last 2 years it's become curly.
So it's naturally
curly? The thing is, I used to always... Unnaturally, I don't fucking know. It just goes curly. Like, usually I'd have... back when I was a kid, for the entirety of my childhood, it was always, it's that time of the month. Your hair looks a little long. It's like down to about here-ish. And it's just like, your hair looks a bit long. Time for the short back and sides. Meow. So, when I got a bit older, again, way before I thought I was trans, I had no fucking idea. It was more of a case of, I'm listening to Led Zeppelin. They've got quite nice hair. I want hair like that.
And I love how you say a bit older. So what? You're 24 now, 25. I mean,
I'm not a pensioner. Come on, man.
You may be an old soul, but you're young. You're a young cat. I mean,
I'm in retirement, so sod off. I'm 23. I'm already hit retirement. You know, all the partying age that's gone out the window. I'm ready. I'm good. I'm sat here just like this is all my life is ever now. I don't need to worry. 40? Nah, fuck that. I'm already close to 30. Oh Lord, better get the tombstone ready.
Over. over half the life is, you're done.
I remember my dad used to say to me, if I ever get to the point where I'm in a wheelchair, just kill me.
Yeah, I understand that. All right, so what's next, boys and girls? Or girls and boys? Or
Well, okay, so
the girls meet the boys, meet the girls, meet the boys,
On-
that makes
on
the
a-
world go round.
on the lighter side of, and I'm just going to come back to suicide. On the lighter side, this happened to commemorate Reckful's life. There was a memorial held on World of Warcraft across multiple servers.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean,
To be
That-
fair, World of Warcraft is the one place where you will definitely see something like that.
yeah. I mean, that just shows how great that community can be,
I bet
right?
Bobby Ben is in there as well.
So, I mean, this is
I-
great.
I'm still not going to go back to play World of
Oh no, I'm not either. But I'm just
I'm-
saying that obviously, this guy had a lot of impact on a lot of people, and the patrons of World of Warcraft have shown that they can be they're not as toxic as maybe they're made out to be sometimes. So that's
I
great.
don't know. I've never heard Warcraft being too toxic these days. Mainly because it's always overcast by the Fortnite, PUBG, Apex, League of Legends, and all that other toxicity that I don't hear much from World of Warcraft these days.
Yeah. I mean, I played a little bit a few months ago, a couple months ago, I guess, and I didn't really run into anybody toxic. But I mean, I know through my years of playing, I've definitely ran into a lot of toxic people. But I mean, they are everywhere. So, and maybe it was worse when it was its earlier years.
I think the toxicity came from a lot of very confident and very strong egoed people. And I've ran into many of them at times, but I don't think that they're bad people. They just
There are a lot of
they're
elitists.
the gameplay became more important than the humanity of it.
Hmm.
And I think that's where I will never go back, even the WoW Classic, because that's I was big into WoW. Had a lot of fun with it, but when you rely on, I mean, like the big raids and stuff, I mean, you've got to have a lot of people that you feel comfortable with running with, and it can show up to get things done, and then when things don't get done, then people get upset, and it just, after I got into Arc and where I can get a server set up where only 2 to however many friends I cared to invite to. And again, it's more the server setup. If I could do World of Warcraft and just that whole world of it, and just to have the people I invited to, I'd probably go back.
Interesting.
But World of Warcraft is meant to be on that huge population style.
Well, I
And
mean,
that's why they have.
the whole reason to play World of Warcraft is to get the best gear and then show it off in Orgrimmar, right? Or Ironforge and Stormwind, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute. Let's not start a debate right now. Orgrimmar, Shut up. Stormwind all the way. No. Yeah.
Also, the lore. I keep hearing about the Warcraft lore within it as well. So there's that aspect. I see a lot of people kind of go back to it for some of that, but mostly it's for the fucking gear sets.
Just it became such a bragging rights. And that's all it was. Bragging rights.
I mean that's what was it? The Division became kind of a similar situation with that.
Oh, the Division. I never
No one
played
really
much
plays it for the storyline. It's just who
Right.
can get the golden gear shit.
Well, I always the last time I jumped into World of Warcraft, I got a kick out of just wearing shit gear. Even though I had ratings that was able to let me do whatever I wanted to. But just that initial response because of the shit gear I had worn. Because I like some of it as the look. And people wouldn't let me into raids. And I'm like, you know what I got in a fucking box? He had no fucking clue. And just let me take it. And they're like, no, we can't, you know. And then the last time they have, I guess it's the mythic raids, what Nick was just saying. I'd never been into one, but I've always played a tank. My last part of my WoW experience. How do you get experience going into these big ass raids? You know, and there's only 2 tanks allowed. And of course you fuck up, and then oh my god, this nobody's given anything constructive. They're just like, oh my god, you're such a shit tank. I can't believe you got, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know what I was going into. I want to learn. I want to do it. But man, and then
2 classes that get the most shit: healer and tank.
I mean,
Any game.
they've corrected a little bit of that stuff as far as like, you know, if you can't tank, you can easily switch over and, you know, do damage now. But
right. Well, God, okay, so you're able to spec into 3 things depending on your gear. You could go DPS, tank, or healer. Really, I mean, and I had sets for many, but the tanking piece of it was what I want to do. But when you went into the big looking for group, and it was the big dungeon, because and this is where it becomes a really circle of madness. To get the really good gear, you got to really get into the big dungeons. It's not the 5 group dungeon. No, it's the 40 or 30 or whatever it was. And so I did the looking for group. Even I farmed for a few weeks the big bosses that would show up on the map.
World bosses.
Yeah, the world bosses. And I probably still have a decent set of gear on World of Warcraft. But man, it was just the best fucking time I had in World of Warcraft. Was, let's see, Wrath of the Lich King was going on. I don't remember which came after that. But then there was a dungeon. There's several dungeons that came out, but nobody knew what the fuck to expect in these new dungeons. There was no videos out there. There was no tutorials. I mean, it's like, this is brand new shit. And I went in several times with people, nobody knew what the fuck was going on. And we fucking just had fun dying, learning.
Yeah.
Until finally somebody's like, oh, this is how you do it. Which, at the same time, I'm like, No. This is also how you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you try to argue with somebody, like a DPS is a tank, I'm the tank, and they're like, oh no, you shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, I've done this before. Okay, have faith in me. Listen to me. Follow where I'm saying, and
Oh, don't! I have those battles all the time with fucking War Thunder. Everyone will say, "We'll go onto a brand new map, hasn't been touched, no tutorials, and what the fuck you do?" And I'll look at people and just go, "Come with me." And I'm like, "Where are you going? That's like the wrong way." Just come with me. If you come this way, I'll show you something special. We'll go to the special area that I've just found out of nowhere, and it might just be a hill where you can just see everything on the map, and they're like, "Oh my god, you can see. Wait, there should be a building here. Yeah, it's not spawned in at this range. Oh, fuck. I can see all the players." It'll just be bullshit fun like that, and it would be, and this is just like when they haven't even had any bug fixes yet, so that section might be lost forever after a fix, but it will just be the fun stuff before they even do anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But within like ESO, is like similar to World of Warcraft in that sense. It's that kind of style of MMORPG, and there'll be times where you'll be going through a dungeon. I'll be mostly my tank healer thing, and most of the DPSs have died, and the other healer has died, and I'm sat there, and they're like, "You may as well die your shit anyway because you're just a healer. You ain't gonna survive against this mini boss. Give me 20 minutes. Mini boss is dead. It happened, and now everyone came back, and no one ever talked about it again."
I know World of Warcraft has made a lot of changes as far as like you don't want to get good gear. You no longer have to be in a 40-man raid, or 20-man raid. You can do 5-mans and get just as good of gear. It might be more difficult. It's like timed. You do a 5-man dungeon and you do it like they'll give modifiers to the mobs, and sometimes some weeks it's harder than others, but then they'll put you on a time crunch, and the harder and faster that you have to do it, the better the gear, and it's pretty cool.
I'm starting to feel like a Violet. He's a gynecologist because he's got his knees up, and I feel like there's stirrups right there. I mean, I'm sorry.
I'm on a really uncomfortable chair. Okay, I'm on that the computer office chair that most the well-known Karens sit on at an office desk. That's the chair I've got for streaming
Oh.
with. It is absolutely horrifically uncomfortable.
I think the next time I get a chair, I'm not getting leather. Like this.
How do you find them? I know. I even like what I've got. So I put my T-shirt on the back. Not only just because of it's got my logo on it, but it's still the seat side.
Mm-hmm.
I wear shorts, and then you get that fucking sit there for a while and sweat and the leather, and like, what? Okay, now I'm
just feel everything from my seat. Yeah.
I mean, mine has cat scratches.
I've generally gone through the works on it. I've had leather before, and it's been nice, but it's always had arm banisters up, so I can't play my guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Then I've had like fucking these crappy old chairs here, which is horrifically uncomfortable after sitting on it for a while. And then I've had my dad, wonderful carpenter, except on chairs. There have been 2 times that a chair has fallen apart and the chair leg has gone fairly close to up my arse, and it has not been very pleasant or painful. Yeah, I've gone through the works on what is chair these days. There's very few I haven't chaired at this point.
Mm-hmm. This is the kind of thing that
I'm the chair lady of chairs.
Are you looking at like the mesh chairs?
Yeah.
Mesh is a nice one. I had
Yeah.
mesh before.
Now these are
Lasts
really
long.
expensive, but you know.
It doesn't last as long as you think.
Well, I think
I have
these.
one.
Go ahead.
I have one. I had one, and now it's sitting on my back deck, which is nice because it doesn't hold the rain in the butt seat. But the support is not as needed when you sit for 4+ hours.
Right.
And as we stream at times, sometimes we do longer streams.
Right.
So
This
it
is
does become.
Look, this is a $1,500 chair.
Yeah.
Mesh chair.
Don't trust it.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got somebody saying hello.
Rubinol.
But yeah,
Hey,
my
Rubinol.
thing, I like to. I don't sit Indian style, but I like to bring my leg up onto my chair. So I needed a
Indian style. I would
oh.
technically call it Buddha style, but
well, okay.
I feel
In
like
America, we've always called it Indian style until
Yeah.
recently,
Oh, okay.
where it's
God.
what do they call it? Crisscross applesauce or something
Yeah.
like that.
Can we go into that for a moment and just like Aunt Jemima maple syrup is now offensive? When Uncle Ben's rice is now considered offensive.
Is it considered
When-
blackface yet?
Well, and again, that's apparently why.
But he's black.
But and I think okay, so this is where I have many issues with it because I think it's complimenting. I see like Aunt Jemima, she made some hellacious syrup, and that is keeping her happy and alive. But apparently that's
It was at the
offensive?
time of slavery, so it's totally illegal.
I
Or
mean,
something like that.
but see, that's the side of it. I mean, so because I actually think it's anti what they're trying to prove. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
She provided this and now we're taking away everything that she did because man. I mean, what's the next thing? Like Lincoln Memorial. People are having problems with it because he was racist.
Didn't he he was one of the people that believed in the slave trade at one point, wasn't he?
Well, he's the one that also said slavery's not legal.
Yeah, he
And-
disbanded it, and I can't remember. It's one of those things that I hate a lot, and people keep fucking forgetting about it. And that is, there is a time that there's a time thing. Things were different then, and that was normal. But that was then.
But let
That's
me
not
ask-
now.
But let me
Can
ask
we remember
you,
these people for what they did that was
Violet.
important then, and not what is considered illegal now or racist now?
are you dealing with the same issues across the pond?
Oh god, yeah, we're having
Okay.
huge issues over here. One of the biggest ones was right at the beginning of the riots. We had the what's the word? The ruining, effectively, of memorials. Originally, it was statues in London.
Yeah.
Most of them were of certain British slavers that we had statues made because at the time they were well known for other reasons, but they were then brought up about the slavery thing. So that means that they're evil people and they should burn in hell and all their statues should be destroyed. But the problem was that they then started doing it with war memorials. and stating these people believe that black should be underneath whites, that the black slavery is still real, so these people should be burned and done all this stuff. People who fought in World War One should be destroyed. The people we respect every fucking Remembrance Day should be destroyed. And the funniest one, the most amazing one, was when they went and destroyed a war memorial for the black fighters in World War One, for the black soldiers who laid down their lives. They destroyed that statue, claiming it to be racist.
And okay, here's the thing I want to get hopefully past in a way. Okay, so it's a statue. So when do we get rid of all the Greek statues of David, of some of them that are
That's Italian.
Oh God, or Italian, but there's a lot of them. You have the mythical gods, Zeus, and there's some.
There was some stuff over the pyramids not too long ago that they should be destroyed and dismantled because they were built by slaves.
So, at what point do we all of a sudden stop and go, okay, whether history is or what history was, when do we stop destroying these things in a lifetime that we were never a part of?
Of course, they're never going to complete they're never going to complete the agreement, because all the roads in Britain, original roads, were London roads, which were built by slaves. So unless they plan on tearing up all the roads in Britain, then they're not going to be able to completely go down with what they're starting out.
So, were all the slaves white? Were they?
No, they seem to not care about the white slaves that I found. Most of the things,
Or
that
were
they've
they
gone into have
Chinese?
been black slaves. Anything that's considered black and someone said something bad about them. Again, the Black Lives Matter, with their statements as well, and with the fact that there's been videos posted of them beating up and hurting white homeless people in the riots, where people have been their shops pillaged because they're a white owner shop and not a black owner shop. It's very, very much more of a KKK for the black people than it is for anything else. That's what a lot of their stuff has been related around in the last
right. But I don't want to.
while.
I don't want to get back into the whole Black Lives Matter scenario. But again, it doesn't seem to be that's all that is out there to be attacked. Because again,
No, I agree.
Aunt Jemima, I seriously think I don't see that she was abused. She wasn't beaten to make syrup. No, she made syrup. And I think she impacted a lot of people's lives in a positive way.
I think they're just
far
trying to
for me
see
from
how far they can go with it now, because they've been able to influence. I think The Simpsons came out not too long ago, the writers for that, and said that they're now not going to. They've been kind of effectively influencing everything with this going on, and saying they're now never going to do any of their black characters are going to be played by black actors. Are voiced by black actors. They are never going to put a black voice on via a white individual. And then the recent one, the last couple of days, is that there's been a couple of people who that have been very tanned, just generally tan in sauna sort of individuals that are being called out for blackface when they just look like they've just got a summer tan on.
How does the fucking syrup? Where does that come the problem? I actually think that promotes how equally we're trying to be. I don't know. I mean, so what is it? The oatmeal. I mean, okay, I think that could be probably taken worse because it's a white guy with the fucking pilgrim hat that showed up and took over the fucking Americas and uh, stole the land from the Indians. I mean, but where do we start and where do we stop? And where does offensive? I mean, what? Okay, so I'll be blunt in this. When do we just suck up our own offensiveness and go, okay, I don't have to buy Aunt Jemima syrup because I feel it's uh racist because there's a black lady, a very happy fucking lady on the fucking. I mean, is that?
What year was she around? Well, I don't know
I
about
I
Aunt Jemima, so
I don't either. I don't care. I love the fucking.
it could just be something as simple like similar to the war memorial statue thing. It could just be something simple like that, where it's like if it was like in the 1800s, there were a lot of black slaves in the 1800s, and if she looks like an old woman on a syrup thing, loads of people will just call it a black slave, and this is promoting black slavery. Even if her life is completely against it or completely different, even if it's showing that she is an individual woman that is be able to create this huge industry on her own and prove that she is an
So
individual, they'll still see it as black slavery.
right, because see, that's the other thing. Because I don't know enough about any of it to really sit here and go, all right, here. But can it not be also argued the other way around that that shows that a lady coming from a very poor situation and coming out of it and making a product that shows how strong the her her humanity is. I don't know.
Yeah, but it goes against their main ploy, which is the media ploy, and that's all they've kind of done. Anything that involves anger or riots or this or that or racism, terrorism, front the pile on the media thing. Puppy gets saved, bottom of the pile on the media thing.
Then get rid of iPhone.
They're just building it all up. That's all they're doing at this point, and it's pissing a lot of people off because nobody actually, not that nobody cares in the sense of racism, because racism is bad, but
Yes.
with how they're doing it, they are just stirring shit for the sake of stirring shit. And the other side of it is with racism, it's one of those no-go areas that most people go, I'm not touching that with a 30-foot pole. I'll just agree with you so that I don't get called a racist. They're acting very much like spoiled brats in this territory because if someone tells them, oh no, you can't do that, that's wrong, they're just going to call them racists and probably ruin their lives for it.
It's so awkward, man, because I mean, when do we stop wearing cotton t-shirts? Because at one point
When
a
do we stop
slave.
taking any kind? When do we stop taking what is it, our medication, or when do we stop
Yeah,
using paracetamol? Most of that is made by child labor in China. When do we stop doing that? When have Black Lives Matter gone out and gone into the coronavirus hospitals and said,
right.
you need to
Yeah,
stop giving people these sort of ventilation things because these are made by children in China?
what
Why are
about
you
the
not doing this?
sweatshops that are going on right now? Not the shit that happened 200, 300, 400 years ago.
Yeah, no one
What
cares
about the
about that
shit?
right now.
What about the shit that's going on right here and now? What about the the child uh expediting of, like Epstein, man? I mean, bringing
Unless
fucking
unless they're just considered more white children than black children, so it doesn't matter to them. Because I'm seeing a lot more of that, where and a lot of people there are a lot of people that have come out and kind of gone, I don't support Black Lives Matter, but I do support that all lives matter.
Oh, but see, that's even wrong there. See, I've been watching Stargate Universe here, and I love Stargate Universe. Well, not the universe, just Stargate and Atlantis, SG-1. Hell, even Enterprise, Star Trek. And they, again, this is the shit that's weird. So this is like the late 1990s, early 2000s. And they're talking about the same fucking issues then, but it was entertainment. Now it's like fucking crazy shit that's going on.
I'm surprised that Blazing Saddles hasn't been banned yet.
Right, Mel Brooks. Yeah, sorry.
But no,
Anything
that
with Mel
would probably
Brooks.
come under as anti-Semitism in some respects if they ban it.
Well, and let's think about your side of the pond. You know, the Holy Grail, and you know,
The Holy Grail already had plenty of shit and was recently re-released, so that should hopefully be fine. But Monty Python did get some shit recently, or someone compared that some quote from the Holy Grail with the Black Lives Matter, and Cleese wasn't particularly impressed.
But I did get a kick out of Monty Python when they put their shit out. They still stood up to it.
Oh god, yeah. Over here, they were literally we had the Mary Whitehouse Foundation, effectively, of the what's it called, the Children of Light or something like that. That basically said, that went round and passed their influence to county council members that said, don't show this smut in your cinemas or you'll burn in hell or something like that. And a lot of people agreed with it, and there was interviews like many years later that said, have you ever watched have you ever watched the Monty Python and the Life of Brian? And he said, no, I've never watched it. So how can you know that there's this going on? Oh, I trust the opinion of Mary Whitehouse. You know, I mean, but they kept going, and there were like little secret filmings around, and I'm sure there are the internet's a wonderful secret filming place for things. So if they do ban Blazing Saddles, I'm going to find that secret filming place because it's an amazing movie.
And that's it. I mean, there was that. Yes, there was racist comments in Blazing Saddles.
There was full on all sorts of different things in that. But
so many fucking things that it could offend any goddamn individual. Irish, German, Canadian, Mexican. I mean,
the sheriff.
It's just so sad that this is what it's come to.
Well, we know this was what it was going to come to. Like, and ever since the end of the Cold War, or the brief 10 to 20 year point between the Cold War and what we've got now as well, there was the social system went up quite hugely, and we developed the political correctness area. And I was saying to myself 10 years ago the same thing I say even now. It's only a matter of time before this stuff gets stupid, and it gets to the point where, like I was saying earlier, you know, give it a year and it'll be racist for me to do a Morgan Freeman accent when describing God.
So, do you think over the last 100 years, so we're in 2020.
We are in 2020.
And so in 1920, the climate, do you think in 100 years we've moved forward Or have we not moved at all?
I think we definitely moved forward. Like the social system has got so much better. The general system with let's put it from 1920. They just finished one world war, and then they put themselves into another world war soon after that, and then we had the Cold War. After the Cold War, we haven't really had a true war like the last World War. So I think we're doing pretty well in that sense.
Wait till August.
What's that?
Wait till August 2020.
I mean, China's got something going for it after
Right
the
before
COVID
our
break.
election. Yeah,
But
I guess I'm of the mindset that I would like to think, okay, can we at least appreciate where we were and then where we've gone? Granted, there's always going to be trials and tribulations because I think humanity as a whole is still a sick and diseased society. But we're focusing on all the wrong things to fix it. Because going back and trying to take away what's happened, in a sense, and not focus on the future of what we could be.
I think also the fact of like, and again, it goes back to the past bit of if you didn't own a black slave in the 1700s, you'd probably be beaten up and killed for being weird. So it became its own social thing. If we go into the future from now, for example, and like right now, it is considered racism for something like that to ever occur. But if we go for the future from now, and things we treat as normal right now might not be the same in the future, we may understand what animals actually can communicate and say. And that at that point, is it technically inhumanitarian or racism to go to choose whether they should have bollocks or not?
So to follow Watson, yeah, it's
We make those choices for those animals because we don't understand them to make for them to make the choice for themselves. We just do it anyway. So if we take anything away from the past, remember that there was a different system back then. There was a different society in a different way. You can't just look at everything that was back there and go, well, they're obviously racist, so they're instantly bad. But when racism wasn't against the law back then, how can they be considered bad? Because it wasn't a system that was bad. It could be in 200 years' time, cunt could be considered racist. It could be so an offensive word that you could be locked up for 25 years. Just because we say it a lot now, just because we say it a lot now, does that mean that we ourselves should be known as bad people and terrible individuals because we say that word?
I mean, I see what you're saying, but I think there's a huge disparity between slavery and cuss words, right? Like, there's a huge
Well,
division
it might
there.
not be in the future.
I mean, who's to say?
Huge difference between the two.
okay.
But the point, the point is that there isn't, like Hawk says, we should be focusing on the slavery that's happening in today's world, not the slavery that was happening 200 years ago.
So which should be more offensive, cunt or slave? Just as a verbiage. I mean,
Um,
slave should be like, that's wrong. Oh my God, you just said the word slave. Shame on you, cunt. I mean, from you guys across the river. I mean,
no,
hell,
other river, the one that's on the other side of the world river. That one is a bit more okay with that. No, it depends with slave because there's also the other side of slave that means something completely different. So, in that sense,
wow.
pretty
Okay.
much fine and is perfectly normal and perfectly consensual.
You got a response out of Cat Dad. That's good. That's hilarious. I don't. I want to come back to just the what's offensive and
I don't.
when when did when did we get so offended by everything
Dude, I feel like
or what?
people have been offended forever. I think the it, social media is just shows how fickle people are. Right? Like just both sides are so easily offended by anything. Man, if somebody says something's gay, somebody's going to be offended by that. If somebody tells you got to wear a mask, somebody's going to be offended by that. Like it's just like I don't know, man. Like everybody's pissed off. Everybody's pissed
And
off all the time. It's just way easier to see now.
I don't think so many are offended. I guess here's the other thing. I don't think some of them are really offended. I don't think it affects them personally. But then they see somebody else mad about it. I'm gonna jump on that bridge and I'm gonna run that bridge as far as I can because that offended somebody. So God damn it, I'm gonna be offended too.
Well, I mean, yeah, of
What are we
course.
talking about?
I mean, there are
What?
so many people with a justice boner, and they just gotta fuck somebody, right? They gotta fuck something with that justice boner, and that's, like, of course, that's a problem. But
Do love me some justice, boner.
it's just, it's
uh,
like I think people have just been offended forever, and we just see it more now. I think.
I think people, when it comes, like, we live in a very, very free world. I mean, the freedom of speech thing has always been kind of there for a lot of places around the world, but only in the last 10, 20 years has it been hugely apparent, especially with the internet, that it can get blown out of proportion so much, but it can also give freedom of speech to things that really don't need to be. Like, it's like saying, out. Should out be considered a racist terminology? Even just starting a conversation like that in Reddit is no doubt going to create some kind of pandemonium of something. What we need is a little Pandora's box. That's all we need. A little Pandora's box.
I think it
Any
needs to be a
kind of
large one.
situation that just generally doesn't have any kind of, something that isn't relevant with today, and it's just causing issues for everyone else. We just need to put into that Pandora's box and hope to fuck that the next person who opens the Pandora's box is somewhere in the future when I'm long gone.
Hmm. Well, I feel like November 2019 was when that box was opened.
Well, it's okay. So, like John Wayne statue. Apparently now, John Wayne, any statue of John Wayne needs to be taken down because he was a bigot and he didn't like gay people. Of course, now we don't have any thing to come back around with a John Wayne guy, except that he was a fun actor that a lot of people enjoyed watching. My grandmother was a John Wayne fan. Now it's funny because I have family members that are now against it. They wouldn't have said that shit when my
When he was
grandmother
alive.
when my grandmother was alive. They would have, because my grandmother still commanded, regardless, maybe it's right or wrong. That it's still odd for me to say, but they would have never said that in front of our grandmother. But she commanded that respect of, okay, you can think it, and my grandmother would have been, you can think it all you want, don't say it to me. That was just a family member. But now she's gone. She's been gone for a while, and now they're like, "Oh yeah, take it down, take it down." Okay, so here's where I try to make sense. So, you loved Grandma, you loved everything she did, you appreciated her, she took care of you. But now she's gone, so she's not here to chastise you in a sense of going, I don't want to hear those things out of your mouth.
So why don't you just say it like even with my grandfather is has been known to be fairly openly racist most of his life. Again, he wouldn't do anything, but it's more that kind of Navy talk to him, right? Back when he was in the Korean War and such, there was a level of that generally with a lot of people going into war at that sort of time because it was just generally a thing. I mean, we see a lot of people that aren't that way these days, but again, they were kind of an odd one of the herd. So, but my point is like my mum, my brother as well, been very known to be very open with their thoughts on this one, which is I think my mum's one was when I have my children, if I catch you saying any shit like that around them, you won't be seeing them ever again. So, but we all also
That's
understand
impactful
that.
though, isn't it?
Oh, it's impactful. And it's incredibly helpful as well. But it we are also understanding. My mum being a counsellor as well, which also helps. But we all understand the point that was their generation. Now, if they were doing something about it and actively going out of their way to commit racist things, then it would be a very different story. But they're not. They're just reminiscent of their time, because if they weren't, the rule would generally be if you're friends with a black person in the 1940s or 50s, you're going to get yourself beaten by your own mother probably for doing that, because it was a very different time period. I'm not saying it's right, but we also have to respect the time period that was there. We can't change it, so what's the point in arguing about it right now?
Well, I guess that's where I have issues because we're in 2020 and we're still trying to change things from 1940, which we can't. I mean, because at that time period, yeah, you say it. You say it very well. That's the climate that was there then. So I think since 1940, 1840, the climate has changed. If anybody disagrees, then so be it. But the climate has changed. We're in 2020. The climate is not the same thing we dealt with then.
I mean,
can we look forward though, and instead of trying to change the climate that we had no control over, then
There's also the other side of it that is like I keep seeing a lot of lately as well, which is do the bads outweigh the goods? And that's with a lot of like the burning down these statues, the destroying of all these memorials. A lot of people are putting this and going, well, these people won a war for us, but they were racists. That makes them bad people. So there's a lot of that, and especially with the not Tolkien, J.K. Rowling shit that's going down at the minute with her
oh Jesus,
transphobic views and such.
yeah.
My general rule with it is, although I don't agree with her, that doesn't mean that her Harry Potter novels are shit and should be and they should never be read again. And every book should be burnt from the office. It doesn't mean her stories are not good. So there is a lot of things to weigh up with all of these situations and kind of look at it from the situation that is. Yes, there were slave traders that were around, and yes, we do have statues of them. But why do we have statues of them? Are we having statues of them because they're slave traders? That probably should be talked about.
Thank you.
Do we have statues though of people that built royal hospitals during the Great Plagues of Europe? They had slaves build the hospitals, but does that mean that they're generally bad people because they went out of their way to build hospitals for people to live?
And I love that perspective right there, because yes, there's a reason why someone made a statue of somebody. Why? Because they wanted to. Hopefully, I still want to see it this way, because of the good they did, not of maybe necessarily the scenarios that they were able to do it, because again, the climate at the time was a little different. Yes, maybe slaves did do some things. Maybe they did own them, but it also propelled us to where we're at today.
Okay, so what do you think about a statue of Robert E. Lee, somebody who actively fought a war to keep his slaves?
It's odd, because I'll say,
I don't know on that one.
well, it's the Civil War, the American Civil War.
He was a top general.
Oh, General Lee.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like trying to state that Adolf Hitler was a general and he should have statues for fighting the war of his thing. So it's
Right.
an odd one when you just build statues of the losers. So it's a complicated one.
Yeah, it's very complicated, because again, it can be played many ways. He stood for what he believed in, and be proud for what he was.
See, I don't see it that way at all. I feel like it's pretty straightforward. Like, we don't need a statue of Robert E. Lee, right? For just what he represents is slavery.
All right. So, what is the statue doing? Is it promoting slavery, or is it causing, by being a statue, an immovable object, is it taking away from what he was, and hey, let's not go back to this type of person? Or is it promoting yes, let's keep promoting slavery because we built a statue? I mean,
I feel like it's just this huge symbol of fuck you, right? Like, if we said, if there was a statue in Germany of Adolf Hitler, it would be a huge fuck you to the Jewish people of Germany.
There have been like some statues in Germany at the minute. That I think it's the one in Nuremberg, which was over the Nuremberg trials. It was a statue of, I think it was one of the Jewish people who actively fought inside the inside. I don't think it was Auschwitz. I think it was another one that was around that sort of area, and actively fought to try and take down within the prison. And it's named the Unknown Prisoner. And people, even the Black Lives Matter, I don't know how they're doing this at this point because he wasn't black. But they're coming up and stating that this is anti-Semitic, this is racist, this is promoting Nazism within Germany, when what it's actually doing is showing what it does show. It doesn't show him in any valor. It shows him in the poor, ragged clothes that he was in, because it's not a symbol of, not necessarily a symbol of power, of what the small can do. It's a reminder of what has happened here and what we hope to never happen again. And so I think statues like that are very important in that sense. But I don't. I think if it, like the General Lee statue, I imagine isn't really done in such a way that portrays him in, chains or whatnot else. I imagine it portrays him as quite a mighty war hero. If the statue was made in such a way that portrayed him as maybe, I don't know, the Confederate leader over him with a gun against his head or something, stating, the little plaque underneath of, this is what happens to slavers, this is the way of the people, do we want to go back to the old ways that we had before, might have a different message. And it will still allow you to have the statue of the individual. But again, it's a different area.
It's still a statue.
It's still a statue, but the way it's portrayed can completely change the scenario.
So will books, so will writings, but it's just it's just a statue. That's it. It's not physically promoting anything. It's just there. What we as a humanity see it as, and how we want to perceive it, is where our miscalculation comes in for me. Because guess what? There was a people at one point in time that praised a Robert Lee. Okay, so right or wrong, it's still just a statue. Now, if we are offended by this statue, this immovable object in a sense, and we want to get angry about it, then just don't go to it. Because, I mean, there's satanic shit out there. There's anti-religious things. There are religious things that are just as offensive.
Well, it goes more into the territory of, like, say for example, the White House suddenly put swastikas, flags all over the White House. With your statement of it's just a statue, at the end of the day, it's just a flag. But does that mean that that's necessarily a right or wrong thing to do, of putting swastika flags all over the White House?
So if there had been swastika flags since Nazi Germany was around?
No, I'm just stating that they just suddenly put some swastika flags around.
So there was a conscious choice at this moment in time to do that. So let's think about when this statue was made. Whatever statue it is.
That's a good point, actually. If the statue was made before the Civil War, then surely it's more a statue of the value of the individual, of what they represented before.
Or what the artist was trying to do. If all of a sudden tomorrow we put a fucking statue of Hitler in front of the White House, yeah, I get it. Hitler's been dead. We have no fucking reason to move forward with that. I don't care what the artist is thinking. That's wrong. That's just bad press, just bad kudo, whatever. But at the time when these statues have been made, no matter what the statue is, I mean, literally, I don't care what the statue is. damn it, somebody did it. I mean, when is it in already? We're trying to take down, the 4 presidents off Mount Rushmore. We're already trying to.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
We're already trying to change, but we're also constructing an Indian. I can't think of the name on a mountain, and we're trying to recall or at least represent something. Oh my god! I mean, why? What? I guess I just don't understand the whole fucking. I mean, yes, it represents something. Yes, it stands for wrong ideas. If you want to see it that way, it's always going to be wrong, and it's always going to be offending to you. Even the Confederate flag. Yes, okay, but
I just see that as a flag of Leonard Skinner these days, to be fair.
And now Leonard Skinner is offensive, right? I mean, what's next? I mean, what's
The what's next is the bit that's worrying me, and how far this is starting to go. Again, the General Lee statue wouldn't have been if the Black Lives Matter thing didn't come round. The General Lee statue wouldn't have even crossed people's fucking minds. It's only since a lot of this stuff has been going down, all this stuff, random bits have been cropping up because it's in this same area where people are going, well, I have a voice for this about this thing. I know it's not related, kind of, but I'm throwing it in there anyway. if there was like 50 people that moaned about the General Lee statue before all this, like what, 2 years ago,
they've
no one
even
would give a flying fuck.
defiled the Vietnam walls of the names of the guys that died. Where does the Vietnam scenario coming even into play now? I mean, these are guys that went and did what the country asked them to do, and now we're going to defile their memorial.
Yeah, that should really be more of a leader kind of situation of who should be defiled in that situation.
But still, I mean, I guess we are free enough in a country or as a society now. If that's what you want to,
we agree that there was a whole agreement that the war to end all wars, World War One, was a really fucking stupid war. But I don't believe that the people fighting in it were stupid people. So I still respect those who did put their lives out to fight for us. It's the same for Vietnam War. The Vietnamese people, the Americans, the British. There were British people technically over there that weren't necessarily officially over there, but there were soldiers over there in Vietnam, and those individuals I respect. In fact, I know a couple of old veterans who are ex-Vietnam, and I respect those individuals. I don't respect the reasoning or the politics of why our countries went there and did what we did.
Right,
but that doesn't mean that the soldiers are at blame for that.
For the lives that were lost for whatever the reason being.
Everyone was just following orders.
And if we dehumanize it, then
I'm not touching Bloody Sunday, by the way, because that's its own complicated area.
It's just scary. Because, like, okay, so here with July 4th coming up, and I'm starting to see.
I'm looking forward to it. Pubs are opening.
Yeah, but it's funny because I see people going, "Oh, how wrong it is for us to shoot off fireworks because we're impacting PSD, from the people that have been in war by shooting off explosives." It's like,
you're 25 seconds late on that, Cat Dad.
Huh?
I'm looking at your stream. 34 seconds past 3 hours. bit late.
Go. I mean, finish what you're saying. I just.
Yeah.
No, I know
Right.
what you mean. It's its own complicated madness of maddening things. We'll just have to see where it wraps up. I think honestly, and see how where it goes from here. I'm sure the next time, if I'm allowed back on in such a way, and I've been I've been wonderful, and I hope I can come back again.
Of course.
Well, I'm sure we'll have more to talk about with this, with the Twitch situation, with everything that's going, because it is a very crazy month, or crazy couple of months, a crazy year. There's been so much shit. Outside of COVID, we've also had the Iran situation, the bushfires. There's so much.
Out. So, Cat Dad, last thoughts.
I think it's been a good one. Hopefully we could give a few nerd boners out there. But guys, what do y'all what did you all think about it? I mean, you have a good time?
I
think
always
this is-
have a good time with Violet. And
No, I think you guys are all fucking amazing.
and Cat Dad, I wish I love it when you do jump in and share your thoughts, because I've learned that for as young as you are versus Violet, I mean, granted, Violet, she is very young, but I love hearing your thoughts on things, because I know I talk crazy, but I still feel pretty good about some of the things I think about, and
Okay.
so
I
Okay
think
with
with the stream and such, or the podcast, it's nice to be able to voice a lot of these situations going on, because I mean, a lot of people are voicing, but not many people. I'm not been seeing too many people that have actually kind of, taken a step back and
Mhm.
looked at, like, we've talked about suicide a little bit in here. We talked about the Twitch stuff that's going on. We've even talked about Black Lives Matter and the shit show with that, and the racism stuff that is happening at the minute. These are very, very controversial topics. So to be able to actually take a step back from everything going on and discuss it with people, even outside of stream, is nice. But to be able to do it on stream, I think it was really helpful for other people that are also having difficulties with what's going on, but don't feel that they're able to talk about it in case they get bullied or flamed or hurt by others for trying to speak their own mind. So I think this has been a really amazing night for me, because I've been able to get out a little bit of what's been going on in my head and throw it around the table a little bit, so that we can all have a kind of play and chat and see what comes out and what.
well, I will
know.
admit, Cat Dad and I've talked a couple times. We're nervous about what we talk about because of the nature of things right now.
Yeah.
I think I've kind of taken over in a sense of going. I think right now it's still in the climate right now. It needs to be addressed. This is not the direction we want the podcast to hopefully go. We want it to be very lighthearted, and banter about the theories of warp drive or time travel within sci-fi books. Just and talk about different other craziness.
I came in here thinking to myself, I've been watching the Goon Show lately. Which is a throwback to anyone in Britain, let alone anyone elsewhere. So I that was first like my thoughts of, oh shit, I've got to think of something quickly. But no, there's a lot of different things that we could be talking about. But I do also agree that I do also think that talking about this sort of topic is important. And it's nice to see that the podcast isn't kind of shy to talk about it.
Right. Yeah. I feel like maybe I am a little more than I should be. But maybe I'll come out of that. And but guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you all for being here. Thank